Hello, friends. Today we're going to be making an art piece, Letting Go of Hurts. So we're going to be making these proverbial stones. We're going to be basing this off of a Zen Buddhist parable about burdens. So I'm choosing to do this in watercolor. You can do this in marker. You can do this in crayon, whatever is your medium of choice or what you have around. And you're going to be identifying your burden. So something someone maybe said that was hurtful to you. That's kind of what I'm doing through my art piece, but maybe it's a painful memory and you're wanting to release it. It's something that's happened to you that you want to release. So you're going to visualize these burdens as these individual stones. So I'm doing this in a color palette. If you want to know what I'm doing, it's cobalt turquoise, and then I have a mixture of French ultramarine and cobalt blue violet, and then undersea green, that's that green shade there. And then the brownish one is lunar earth mixed with a little bit of quinacridone gold. So those are the shades I'm using. You're going to be really holding on to each one. Imagine these stones. I want you to, maybe you have some stones laying around the house or that you see outside, and just kind of take the shapes of them and paint them out, imagining what they are. How this Buddhist parable goes, I'm sure I'm going to butcher it, so bear with me. There's these two monks, an older one and a younger one. There's a rich, wealthy woman in town, and she wants to be carried across this puddle. And she's not a very nice woman. And the older man just picks her up and carries her over the puddle. And the younger one just stays silent and they continue walking along their way. And then hours later, the younger one can't contain it any longer. He's so upset. He's like, how can you carry that woman? Number one, we're monks. We're not supposed to touch women. Number two, she wasn't nice. Like, why did you do this? And the older one says, I put her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her? And it just like, boop, blew my mind. Because it's such the truth. Someone says something mean to you or does something mean to you, and they're done with it. And so often we're still holding it. And why? We're holding this burden for what reason? So we're going to be working on letting go of it, not letting that sit in our brains and bother us anymore. So now that we're finished making these stones in whatever shapes, odd shapes you want to make in them, I'm going to start to add detail texture into these. I'm doing this in pen, but you could do this in whatever other medium you want to do it in. And we're going to imagine we're holding the stone. Each stone has different veining and texture. It's made up of all these different types of minerals in it. And so you want to kind of visualize that when you're making it, that it has all these different bits to it. And just like that, so are your feelings. Your feelings have so many facets to them. It's never just, one tiny feeling. It's a whole bunch mixed in together. And so I want you to reflect how you're feeling. What are the thoughts that come up, the feelings that come up? How has it impacted you in either this moment or in previous moments? And putting that in through all those tiny little bitty details. Not judging it, not going, I shouldn't feel that way or should feel this way. Just letting it come as it is. Letting it approach. No stress about it. In my personal one, I'm imagining something someone said to me that was very unkind. And, I took that so personally and so like, oh, they're right. And it's really not. It's usually more, it says more about them than it says about you. It says so much more about them. So, we don't need to hold it. We can let it go and move on, so we don't have to sit there with the pain of it. So I'm going to add some little lines in here, some veining into these stones. Some of them are going to have tiny little dots, maybe specks. And then as we're finishing up in the pen detail, we're going to make some decisions here. We're going to say, is this worth holding on to anymore? Or is this worth letting go of? Are we ready to let go of it? And if you are, we're going to come up to an imaginary river. It's flowing, it's strong, it has a current, and you're going to be throwing these stones into the river. You're going to let them go, throwing one at a time. I'm going to be writing on here, I let go to honor myself, because you're really choosing freedom here. You're choosing to free yourself from the burden, and you can.